it just keeps happening. You know, we're now into PFL 5. You know, we got through the first round of the regular season. We're now into the second round of the regular season. And every single one of these fighters that Ray and the team have put together, they come out, they hit their marks, they bring everything, and they get finishes. You know, we're still, even after tonight, at a 70% finish for all the fights. It's incredible. And all the fans love it. Ray, I know, loves it. The team loves it. And it's because these guys want to secure a spot in the playoffs. Because if you don't get in the playoffs, you don't win $1 million.
Again, you know, as one of our slogans is, what do you fight for? And that's what these guys are coming out and put it all on the line, is because they're fighting for not only to be a champion, but also to be $1 million winner. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, again, PFL just continues to climb, and these athletes are continuing to set the bar. And so, excitement, excitement, excitement.
But how about Vinny? I mean, Vinny comes out.
Yeah, he's okay.
You know, I mean, Vinny not only gets a huge win in the first round, and then he comes out tonight against Brandon, who also was sharp and had a big win.
Right.
And, you know, Vinny, you know, if you were listening to the broadcast, you know that he's a world champion in jiu-jitsu, but, you know, he comes out and he says, you know, guess what? I'm going to be a world champion in the PFL. He's the #1 seed far and away, and he's finishing everyone, and you got to believe that he's the guy that can win $1 million. He's the favorite right now. And you'll probably see it. You know, tonight there were some odds out there on all the fights. You'll see when the odds come out for him in the quarterfinals. He's going to be the #1 seed, and he's going to have the odds with him with all the bookmakers to see what happens to win the $1 million.
Absolutely. Vinny has all the talent in the world to be, I mean, on the ground, nobody can touch him. You know what I mean? And then tonight he showed that he can knock people out as well and finish people. So, you know, again, he's the highest seat there, and I think we're just going to see the best of Vinny as time to come.
Thoughts on at the weigh-ins, you lost the fight. Thoughts on that? Did it ruin that evening for you, or do you know these fights I think made up for it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, no, it didn't ruin tonight, because tonight everybody came out and fought. So I was excited about that and happy about that. But in terms of what Efren did, it was absolutely unprofessional, and I can tell you 100%, anybody that comes like that will never fight for PFL again, ever.
Yeah, you know, look, if you look at the rule books, there's a reason why we put out rules and regulations. It's a league, it's a sport, and if you read the rule book, it says that if you miss weight, you don't get any points, and if the commission allows, you can fight. But if you miss weight a second time, you're out of the league. So Efren missed weight second time. You know, I know all these guys are trying and doing their best. It's not easy to make weight, but he missed. So as a result, he doesn't fight. You know what? We still had a great night out there in the arena here in Nassau, and it didn't spoil anything.
No,
and
absolutely not.
and you know, the way that the league is set up, guys sometimes get a walkover and they get their win. You know, they showed up, they made weight. That's how it should work.
Yeah, and you know, making weight is really important, because as you go through the regular season into the playoffs and the championship, you can't make weight in the championship. You're not fighting. You know what I mean? And the fact that he had 6 weeks or so to make weight, and I kept, you know, I had called him maybe 2 weeks ago to see what his weight was, and he said, nah, weight's great. Say I checked up on him when he got here, weight is great, and he missed it by 8.5 pounds. That being said, that's said and done. We had a great night tonight, and congrats to all our guys that fought tonight, because everybody came and put it on the line, and man, loved it.
That being said, as far as the playoff goes, because there's 2 fights in one night, is there any contingency plan if someone does miss weight, last-minute injury? Are you going to have a backup perhaps ready for the card?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we're going to have alternates there as well. But the quarterfinal losers will automatically become the first alternates for the night. So I'm sure Carlos has explained this before. So if Carlos and I fought and he won and I lost, but he broke his hand, then I have the opportunity to go back in there as long as I'm okay. But if he knocks me out and breaks his hand, then we're both pretty much in trouble.
Yeah, so it rolls down. You know, as you know, in the quarterfinals, there's 4 losers. So the highest ranked loser that's left from the original regular season, so the regular season matters, the seeding matters, would be available to come in as long as the commission would allow them to fight. And so it would roll down. The other thing that Ray and the team will do is they'll also bring the 9th and the 10th and the 11th and the 12th seed from the regular season. And they will be there, they'll need to make weight, and they'll be available. They'll be sitting there waiting on the bench. And if it turned out that we had to roll all the way down through the losers down to that 9th seed or the 10th seed, they would be available to come in for that quarterfinal lineup. So it's all been laid out. I think it's very orderly. It should go smoothly. But first and foremost, the top 8 that make the playoffs have got to make weight. That's critical. You don't make weight, an alternate's going to come in.
Which has got to be a huge motivator and not a demotivator, because you want to stay on weight, you want to stay healthy, and you want to stay fight ready, which is huge when you see, somebody missing weight like Efren twice, where now there's going to be some, other opportunities.
Look,
so it's got to be a big motivator.
we think that's all part of what the PFL is all about. The way we've structured it, from the first round to the second round to the playoff night to the championship night, everybody, all 72, these elite 72, know that they've got a season of MMA sport ahead of them. They can plan their whole season out. They can understand their nutrition, their training. They can stay on weight. It's very important that we want to help the fighters to do that so that they don't have these big yo-yos up and down and have these big losses to have to make weight. And so we think that's a big benefit of the PFL.
If $1 million doesn't motivate you, nothing will.
Any truth to Adeline Gray, Olympian, around the same weight as Harrison? Any truth that she might be, I hear she's training MMA, making the leap over the PFL?
That's the first I've heard of.
Okay.
I believe there are some fighters with only one fight after tonight and last week. Will they be competing on a card later in the year before the postseason to get their second fight?
It's good. It's a good question. Example of that is Rashid. Rashid was not able to compete in the first round due to a rib injury. He's now won and may likely have clinched a playoff spot. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe that that's what it said. And if that's the case, then he would clinch his playoff spot and would not fight because he already missed his first round fight.
And then what about a guy like Ramsey Mitchum, who I believe also has the one fight but he lost?
Yeah, Ray and the team are working on Ramsey to get him a fight on either, most likely on August 30th. We just don't yet have all the clearances yet.
Sean as well. O'Connell.
Sean, correct. He's also fighting August 30th.
Yeah, Sean will be on the card August 30th.
Matter of fact, there's 6 light heavyweights that will be on the card August 30th.
Yeah, so there's still a few moving parts in the clinching of that top 8 that'll happen on August 30th. We designed the regular season to have 3 fights in the first round and 4 fights in the second round for just that reason, so that there would be some variation if we needed to get fighters, if they needed a week or two, if there were some issues from the first round, so that they'd have a chance to get that second round in. And it turns out that that design is holding to be an important piece of the puzzle, and so there'll be a number of fights on August 30th to get the final clinching of the playoff spots.
Going back to female fighters, I know Leslie Smith is available after her start of UFC. Any indication that you might be able to pick her up or any drafting for her?
It depends if she wants to fight at 155. But she fights at what, 135?
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't heard anything from them. And again, I don't know if she would fight at 155. So we'll wait and see.
I know you've spoken about having female divisions. Is that something that you're looking for next season, next year?
Yeah, we're talking about it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but there is a lot of discussions about it, and most likely, yeah.
Has Kayla expressed interest in doing a tournament?
Yes, absolutely.
Kayla's been in a few tournaments in her life.
Yeah, she has.
Yep,
Speaking of Kayla, you got her an opponent, Josette Cotton, I believe.
correct.
Seems like a very legit matchup. How excited are you for that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, she was very professional. Matter of fact, we had her on the list to reach out to, but then she replied to a text on Twitter that was saying that they were looking for, I think it was from Ali, that her management team were looking for an opponent. And so it's funny because she was like the next person I was going to call. She actually tweeted it, so I reached out to her, and yeah, the fight was matched, and yeah, she was, and because she manages herself, it was easy to just get the deal done.
Yeah, so August 16th, another great card. We're going to Ocean Resort. Kayla adds a special event to that card. Whenever Kayla fights, this year it's a special event. We'll slot her into the middle of the card very similarly to when she fought her first fight. But we've got, we got the 170s and the 85s
yep.
that are there. A bunch of great fights. And they're all going to be doing just like what you saw tonight. They're going to be looking for finishes. They're going to be looking for points. They're going to look to try and secure their playoff spot.
Will this be her last fight, or will she try to fight a third time before the end of the year?
We may have something for her in December in the championship
Okay.
round. So
Okay.
Yeah, she's trying to get in her, her reps, build her record, and before 2019.
Is there a likely opponent yet, or we're still?
no, we're still
Not
it's
yet.
still a long way to go. So
Thank you.
Great. Thank you,
thanks,
guys.
guys. Appreciate it.